Hello, I'm Tom with Composite Designs, and today we're going to cover the assembly of our O-scale and HO-scale Octagon picnic table kits. We're just going to cover the assembly in this video. If you would like more information about painting and weathering them, there'll be a link in the description back to our regular picnic table kits where I get more into painting and weathering, and all of that. Those details apply to these two. This is just going to cover the assembly. So let's get started. Like I mentioned before, we're going to go over the assembly of our HO and O scale Octagon picnic tables. Depending upon when you're watching this video, we're also planning on coming out with N scale ones. Those may or may not be out at that point. Those would be out of laser board, not wood, but the majority of the assembly would probably be the same. But they're still in development, so I can't 100% say that at the time of shooting. So we're going to go ahead and assemble the O scale one. The only difference is going to be obviously the size and the layout of the wood. If you see, they use two different thicknesses for wood, so the way they're laid out in the sheet is a little different. But if you look at the instructions, it explains what's what. That's really the only difference as far as how assembly goes. It's the same. So when we open up the package, and in this video we're not going to cover weathering or painting, but if you look down in the video description, I'm going to put a link to our original standard picnic table video. And if you want to refer back to that, the weathering and the painting, those techniques are all the same. So to keep the video short, we're gonna defer to that video. So with the O scale one, you've got two sheets. Each sheet makes a complete picnic table. Like I said, HO is a little different. You have one sheet that has all of the lower components to make the two picnic tables, and then you have two sheets that are all the upper, the actual table itself, top, and the benches. But that's again laid out in the instructions. So if you open up the instructions, and take a look, you'll see that there's assembly. There's a picture of the finished ones. And here under kit contents, you'll see, in this case being O scale, part sheet quantity 2, and it'll tell you the top. There's the benches, the cross braces, and the seat braces. There's something very similar in the HO scale 1. There's multiple sheets and it explains it all there. So I'm going to set those aside. We'll set one of the other sheets aside. The first thing we're going to want to do is we're going to want to remove our cross braces. And I'm also going to remove the seat braces at this time. So the easiest way to do, these are held in with tabs, and if you flip it over, you might be able to see that, you might not. You can easily see where it isn't cut all the way through. So just take an X-Acto knife, cut through the tab the rest of the way. And the pieces will come right out. So go ahead and take out the rest of the braces and the cross brace and the bench seat, or the seat braces. So with that out, we're going to set the sheet aside for the moment. Anywhere that there was a tab, there's the possibility, depending upon how cleanly you cut it, that you might have a little nub. Just go ahead and sand that off. And do that everywhere that there was a tab. Okay, with all tabs sanded off, let's clean the workbench off. Lay our pieces out. So these are our seat cross braces. and then these are our main cross braces. Get rid of any sawdust. So if you look at the cross braces, there's two things to look for. One has a notch in the top of the center cross brace, and one has a notch in the bottom. That's going to be important here in a minute, and you're going to see why. Go ahead and get some glue. I use a Turbo Tacky glue. You can also use any type of wood glue, and a lot of guys use white bond or tight bond. That's fine. You could even use a white glue if you really wanted, I guess. I wouldn't use like an Elmer School glue, but any type of like wood glue really would be fine. This is just a personal preference. So what you want to do is take the one that has the notch in the top of the crossbeam. Find some place that's got that, something that's square. I like to use the squares on my map, but if you have a little square, anything that is a reference point, put a little dab of glue in there, in that mark. Then we're going to take the one that's got the notch in the bottom, set that in there, and on a nice flat surface. Hold that here because it seems to be sticking to my fingers and I don't know why. We just want to get this as straight as possible. You can also, if you have them laying around, take something like a machinist square and let that or 1, 2, 3 block and let that go like that. It's the other option. Now, then what you want to do is, if you look in these seat braces, there's a little notch, and in each of these braces there's a little notch. So what you want to do, put a dab of glue right there. Put this right in that notch. You want to make sure that the top is flush, of the seat brace is flush with the top of the cross brace. Otherwise the seat won't sit the way it's supposed to later on. So we do that for all 4 of them. So we're going to give that a couple minutes and let that dry. Okay, with that tacked up at this point, we're going to take our sheet back out. And now we need the tops and the bench seats. So we're going to flip it over, exactly what we did before. Cut the tabs, pull them out, clean them up. Alright, so we've cut them out, we've gone ahead and cleaned them all up, and we're time to put the 2 assemblies together. So we have our bench seats and our top. So what we're going to do is we take our cross braces and take a little bit of glue, and we're going to put a dab of glue on each top here. And this is really kind of an eyeball thing. We're going to take our top here, and you pretty much want to line them up with the points. And center it the best you can. Again, there's no real There's no alignment tabs or anything like that. It's kind of just that looks good. Now, for the seats, you want to put a little bit of glue along this cross brace here. Grab one. The center here is going to go with the center here. You want to align it with that brace. And then you're going to try and align this line here should be parallel with that. And again, it's a bit of an eyeball thing. So just repeat that for the other 4, or the other 3. And that's it. Go ahead and let that dry. Although the tacky glue dries pretty quickly. Now I know we didn't cover painting, but if you were to paint it, I would go ahead and prime the pieces ahead of time. A lot of times, right, and the sheet is the easiest. And then you can paint it with any, a lot of different paints. A lot of people use, and even myself, I'll do it with just a craft paint. Or you can use a more advanced paint, whichever you want. If you'd like a little more information on how to paint and weather it, in the video description I'll post a link to the build video of our standard picnic table, which I actually do go into the painting and weathering of it. I just wanted to keep this video a little bit shorter than that one. So the assembly obviously would be different, but all the painting and weathering is very pertainable to this also. So that's how you put one together. Obviously, the other one will go together the same. The HO ones will go together the same, just smaller, and where you get the pieces in the sheet would be a little bit different. Rather than it all being in one sheet, your lower cross bases for both of them would come out of one sheet, and your tops, there's a sheet for each top, because there is a different thickness in the wood between the cross braces and the tops to make it look right in HO scale. Other than that, that's it. They're available on our website, and I hope that this was entertaining and helps you put together yours, or answered any questions if you were considering buying them, and we look to hear from you guys. Thanks a lot.